All right, so from there, again, you have a couple of pretty straightforward comparison problems. All right, so I just gave you kind of some hints there, but basically look at each one, make a comparison, and then make sure to answer the question at hand. All right, here's another one of those good problems of, just make sure that you read carefully. If you take 7 cards from a deck of 52, how many do you have? Right? Again, a lot of people would look at this and they would do 52 minus 7. But they would be computing how many are left in the deck when really I want to know how many do I have in my hand. Right? Well, if I took 7 cards, I've got 7 cards in my hand. So again, just read carefully. Make sure you're answering the actual question. All right. All right. This next one that I want to look at with you has you do a little bit of converting in terms of the unit. So I want to show you how you're going to do that. We are told a faucet leaks 1 ounce of water per minute. Now, I mentioned to you a little while back in one of the earlier problems that anytime you see that per, right, it's written as a division. So this rate that we're given is 1 ounce per. All right, so I'm going to write that as a division per minute. And what I'm asked is how many gallons are wasted in a year. So I got to convert 2 things. All right, I've got to convert ounces to gallons, and I've got to convert minutes to years. So we're going to do it one at a time. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to convert minutes to years. All right, and I'm going to do that noting the fact that there are 60 minutes in an hour. All right, that gets me to an hour. There are 24 hours in a day. And then to get to years, there are 365 days in a year. All right, so let me go ahead and compute that first. All right, if I take the 1 ounce times 60 times 24 times 365, I'm looking at 525,600. All right, and notice what you've computed here. This is ounces, because you hadn't changed that, per year. All right, now what I'm going to need to do is go from ounces to gallons. So I've got 525,600 ounces per year. And I'm told, in case I don't know it, a gallon contains 128 ounces. So since I need to convert from ounces to gallons, that means I want the ounces to cancel out. I'm going to put the ounces on the bottom and the number of gallons on the top. You can also look at this as you're going from smaller units to bigger units, which is why you're going to need to divide, all right, because the number is going to get smaller, right? Either way, I'm going to take that 525,600, divide it by 128, and that's going to tell me, because the ounces will go away, that I'm looking at 4,106.25, and I'm left with gallons per year, which is what I need. All right, so just look at your units and what they are to start, and if you need to change them, do it one at a time. All right, using either multiplication, if your units are getting smaller, or using division if your units are getting bigger. All right, now part B asked me to now convert this to, let me read it carefully here, an amount of money. And I'm given dollars per gallon. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the number of gallons being wasted, 4,106.25. That's the number of gallons. And I'm going to multiply it by the price given, which is $11.20. There's that per again, 1,000. So to get the correct price here, I'm going to multiply that by $11.20, but I'm going to divide it by 1,000 because it's per 1,000 gallons. And that's going to tell me the amount of money here is $45.99. All right. These next two were just kind of for fun. So I gave you some tips there. Basically, you're just looking at what makes the most sense. And then you can check it using some basic trial and error. All right. But let's move down to this one. And this is another one of those problems where there's not really a this is how you do it. You just got to make sure that you do what you need to do to answer the question. All right. So if I read it first, an automobile was purchased for $34,800, and it was worth $8,550 after 7 years, right? And I'm interested in the amount of depreciation. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to figure out the amount that it depreciated, all right? And that's just going to be the difference, $34,800 minus $8,550. Right, that difference is the amount that it depreciated. All right, and that's an amount of $26,250. All right, now when I start to look at, okay, I need to answer the question. All right, I want to know what was it worth at the end of the third year. So I'm going to need to know a yearly amount of depreciation, all right, so that I can apply it to the third year. So now what I'm going to do is just that. I'm going to figure out the amount that it depreciated per year, given that this happened over 7 years. So to do that, I'm going to take $26,250 and divide it over the 7-year period. All right, and that's going to tell me it depreciated by $3,750 every year. All right, now I want to look at the end of year 3. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to compute the amount that it would depreciate in 3 years. All right, well, if it depreciates $3,750 each year, then I'm just going to multiply that by the 3 years. And that's going to tell me in 3 years, it depreciated by $11,250. Now, this is a good place where you stop to see, did you answer the question? All right, I'm almost there, but I haven't answered the question because the question, what was it worth? And the amount that it's worth is going to be the initial amount, $34,800, minus the amount that it depreciated over those 3 years. So if I take the initial price, subtract the amount that it depreciated, the amount it's worth at the end of the third year is $23,550. So again, take it piece by piece, read it carefully, and always make sure when you get to the end that you have actually answered the question.